Hello and welcome to my channel. Today's video we are going to be making these cute little keychain pet rocks. For this little one I used a 4.25 hook with number 4 yarn, as well as 10mm safety eyes. And then I've also tested it in the number 6 Bernat blanket yarn. So if you want to follow along while I do this guy in the bigger, thicker yarn, you can do that as well. And for him I used 20mm safety eyes and a 5.5mm hook. This is a crochet along, so I will be doing every stitch with you. But if you get lost or don't understand something I'm doing, there will be a drop down for the first 30 seconds of every row with the pattern instructions for you to refer back to. And if you enjoy my videos, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Not only does that help me out, but that will also send you notifications of when I load my next videos. You can also leave me a like or a comment. Okay, I think that's everything. So grab your yarn and let's get started. Okay, we're going to begin with our starting loop, and you can make yours any way you want as long as you keep row 1 the same, which will be 12 single crochets. And what I do is I just make a knot with a loop on the end as if you were going to be making a chain. And if you're starting my way, you're going to insert your hook, grab your yarn, pull up and through, and chain 1. And that does not count as a stitch. All that is to attach your yarn to your loop. So for round 1, you're going to do 12 single crochets into the loop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Grab a stitch marker if you're using one. And for row 2, you're going to do 1 single crochet, 1 increase, repeat that all the way around for a total of 18. So 1 increase, 2 and 3, 4, increase, 5 and 6, 7, increase, 8 and 9, 10, increase, 11 and 12, 13, increase, 14 and 15, 16, and an increase, 17 and 18. Row 3, you're going to do 2 single crochets, 1 increase. Repeat that all the way around for a total of 24. So 1, 2, and an increase, 3 and 4, and you'll just repeat that all the way around. 5, 6, increase, 7 and 8, 9, 10, increase, 11 and 12, 13, 14, increase, 15 and 16, 17, 18, increase, 19 and 20. This should be our last set. 21, 22, and an increase, 23 and 24. Rows 4 to 6 is going to be 24 single crochets, and that's 3 rows, and I'm going to just count consecutively all 3 rows together and then just flip my marker when I hit a set of 24. So 24 times 3 is 72, so I'm going to do 72 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Flip your marker and notice it's starting to curl. You want it curling away from you, or you're going to end up crocheting like this with the wrong side out. So you want to make sure it's curling this way and your hook is on this side between you and the back of your work. Okay, I'm going to just keep on going. 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100, 101, 102, 103, 104, 105, 106, 107, 108, 109, 110, 111, 112, 113, 114, 115, 116, 117, 118, 119, 120, 121, 122, 123, 124, 125, 126, 127, 128, 129, 130, 131, 132, 133, 134, 135, 136, 137, 138, 139, 140, 141, 142, 143, 144, 145, 146, 147, 148, 149 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48. So that was 2 of our 3 rows. And our third row, keep on counting. 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, and 72. Row 7, we're going to do the arms. So we're going to start with 6 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now we're going to do the arm, so we're going to chain up 6. 1, 2, oops, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and now we're going to come down into this second chain from the hook, so not the one on your loop, not the next V down, but the second one, and we're going to do 3 single crochets into that chain. 1, 2, 3, and that should leave us 4 chains, and we're going to slip stitch 4 times down the rest of the arm. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now this was the last stitch we were in. We're going to go in the next stitch over to continue around, and we're going to do 12 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And now we're going to do our second arm, so we're going to chain up 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and down in that second chain from the hook right here, you're going to do 3 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, and then 4 slip stitches down the rest of the arm. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And now we should have 6 single crochets left to get us back to the end of the row. So starting in the next stitch over from where we started our chains, 6 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Row 8, you're just going to do 24 single crochets all the way around. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And now you're at your arm. You need to go around the arm. So this is your last stitch. Your last stitch is right here, and you're behind the stitch on the previous row. So when you go around the arm, you want to come behind your next stitch, so that'll be right there. So from this stitch around to this stitch. Okay. So right in there. It's a little tricky. Just take your time because you want to be in the right stitch. And if you need to, give it a little pull if it's not very tight. And that was 7. And now to keep on going. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, now 18. You're at the back side of that stitch before you chained up. So you're going to go across and over to behind the next stitch. So right in there. I believe that was 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, and 24. You didn't end up with 24 stitches. You're going to want to come back and make sure you went in the right stitches when you went around the arms, because that's where you probably will have made skipped a stitch or put an extra stitch in. Okay, row 9, you're going to do 2 single crochets, 1 decrease. Repeat that all the way around for a total of 18. So 1, 2, and a decrease for 3, and just repeat that around. 4, 5, and a decrease for 6, 7, 8, and a decrease for 9, 10, 11, and a decrease for 12, 13, 14, and a decrease for 15, 16, 17, and a decrease for 18. Row 10, you're just going to do 18 single crochets all the way around. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18. Row 11, we're going to do the toes. So we are going to start off with 6 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And you should be right close under the arm somewhere. And for the first toe, we're going to do what I refer to as a puff of 3. So we're going to yarn over. We're going to go into that next stitch. We're going to grab our yarn. We're going to pull that back out and up. And that is 1. We're going to do that again. Yarn over. Go in that same stitch. Grab your yarn and pull up, and that's twice. And one more time, yarn over in that same stitch, grab your yarn, pull up and through, and that's 3 times. And then you're going to grab your yarn and you're going to go through all of the loops on your hook. And if you don't get it the first time, don't worry, take it off, go back to this stitch and just try it again instead of trying to figure out where you lost a piece of your loop. So that's 1 puff. We're going to do that again. So we're going to yarn over and go in 3 times. 1, 2, 3, and then grab your yarn and pull through all the loops. And then one more time. Yarn over and in 3 times. 1, 2, and 3. And then grab your yarn and go through all those loops. And there's your 3 little toes. And now we're going to do 2 single crochets across in the next 2 stitches. So 1. And if you're really loose here, give that a little pull. And then in the next stitch, another single crochet. So that's 2. And then we're going to do 3 more toes. So yarn over and in 3 times. 1, 2, 3, and then grab your yarn and go through all the loops on your hook. Toe 2, 1, 2, 3, grab your yarn and pull through, and one more time. 1, 2, 3. And then you should have 4 single crochets left to get you to the end of your row. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Row 12, you're going to be going in the back loops. So where you would normally go, whoops, under both sides of that V, Now you're going to go down through the middle of the V and out the back. And you're not going to touch these front loops, and it will create a little bit of a line. So your little guy will be a little more flatter, and he'll stand instead of roll. Okay, so for row 12, back loop only, you're going to do 1 single crochet, 1 decrease, repeat that all the way around for a total of 12. So make sure you get in that first stitch, down and out the back. 1 and a decrease for 2, 3 and a decrease for 4. Make sure you're getting in the right stitches. 5 and a decrease. Whoops. For 6. 7 and a decrease. Whoops, grabbed extra there. Sorry, I'm just peeking through my camera. It's hard to. So that was 8, 9 and a decrease for 10. 11 and a decrease for 12. And I'm sorry if I'm going too slow, but I want to make sure people that are just starting are able to kind of keep up and make these too. Okay, now before we close him up and stuff him, we're going to put on the face. So what you're going to do is go above, 1 row above his arm, and then you're going to count over about 4 holes, so you're just kind of above that inside toe. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and see, I'm just in front of that toe. And we'll put a pin in there. And then we're going to do the same thing on the other side. You're going to go 1 row above the arm and then count over about 4 holes. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm going to put a pin in there. And again, we're just inside kind of that front toe. If you're using bigger eyes than me, you might want to go back 1 hole just so that his eyes aren't too close together. So now we're going to insert our eyes. And of course, you can put your eyes anywhere you want. This is just where I've decided I want to put them. But it does kind of cramp up the mouth a bit down low. So if you need a bigger space for a mouth, you can put them up a row higher. So just listen for those clicks as you're putting your eyes on. And you're going to grab some black yarn. Or whatever color you want to make your mouth. And you're going to come kind of just inside the eye a little bit. So you're under the eye, but right on the inside. And this, of course, is all your preference again. This is what worked out best for me. Leave a little bit of string out. Then you're going to go to the matching stitch on the other side. So just under the eye a little bit. And you're going to come out in the center between those two, 1 row down. So right here, you're going to be coming out. So it's going to look like that. You have your mouth and your yarn looks like, why is it way down there? And then you're going to come up under the line of mouth you just made, around it, and back in that same hole that you came out, and then come down and out. And that is going to pull your mouth down into a little smile. So just play with it a little bit so it's kind of even. And then you're just going to turn it around and give it a tie. Not too tight because you don't want to pull your mouth from the inside, but tight enough that it's going to hold. And then clip those ends. And now you're going to grab some pink and we'll do the cheeks if you're adding cheeks. Whoopsie. And for mine, I'm doing mine to go across. You can do yours any way you want, at an angle, up and down. I'm going to come on the outside of the eye now. So basically one hole over from where I did the mouth. Leave a little bit of string hanging to tie, and then just go over one stitch. And I'm going to go around that stitch one time. So I'm going to come back where I first came through. And then I'm going to go back in. And I'm going to come out and match that on the other side. So one hole over from where the mouth is, if it's the same. You just want to make sure your two cheeks are even, so whatever you did on this side, you're going to do on this side. And we got to come up and through there one time. And then in and out, and that'll give us 2 rounds across that stitch. And then you'll just tie that again, remembering not to tie it too tight. Oops, I think I went, nope, I didn't. I don't know what that string is. Oh, it's a toe. I guess that's okay. And then just give that a trim. And now you're going to add your stuffing. Now if you're doing the bigger plush one, you want to make sure you're pushing your stuffing out to the sides a lot. Assuming you want it like a round little one. If you want it taller, you'll push it out the top. Same with this little one, but you won't get as much as a difference as you will with the plush yarn. The plush yarn, you can really kind of change the shape with how you're stuffing it. But I want mine to be kind of round. So I'm just going to fairly firmly stuff all my spaces inside. Keep in mind that your toes are going to kind of push him over a bit, so you want to have lots of stuffing in the back so he doesn't tip over. I think I'm going to put a little bit more in yet. Just kind of watch that it's staying round. Oh, that might be too much now. All right. Okay, I think that's good. So if you are happy with how much stuffing he has and he's nice and even, or maybe you want him crooked and lumpy, that is totally up to you. And grab your hook again. And for row 13, you're just going to do six decreases all the way around. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. I know this is a bit awkward, especially if you really stuffed it up, but just take your time and get your 6 decreases all the way around. And then you're just going to go in the next stitch and put a slip stitch. And then you're going to tie that off and cut your string. But when you cut your tail, decide if you want to make a loop like this, you're going to want to have quite a bit because you're going to come up and out the top. Unless you want to make your own loop without that, but I might as well use what I have here. And then it's always a little more one piece. You can get rid of your stitch marker now. Now you're going to thread your tail. And you're just going to weave in and out however you're used to. I go in the top of the loop, so just back and forth. Now if you're using the plush yarn, you might want to go for it through 3, pull it tight, and then go through the last 3 or 4, just because it's hard to pull tight without the yarn snapping sometimes. And then you pull that tight, grab a stitch in the center, and tie a knot. And if you're done, you'll just put that in and cut it off. If you're going up the top, you just come up the very center of where your starting loop was. Give that a bit of a pull to hide your knot in the bottom. And now you can either tie a loop, or you can put another little piece of string in here, folded over, so like this. And then you can braid these 3. That's what I did for this one. Or you can just add a regular keychain just like this to the top. Okay, thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this video and want to see more like it, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, or give me a like or a comment. Hopefully I'll see you in another one of my videos. Have a great day, stay safe, and happy crocheting.